Hello guys, welcome to my HOI4 tutorial on the basic ideologies in the game. In HOI4, there are 4 major ideologies, and there's like some other subsections that can come up, but I think we need DLCs for them. There is democracy, communism, fascism, and non-aligned. Now, your ideology doesn't have to do a lot with the game, not a lot. For the most part, it doesn't impact you a whole lot. I know, check that shit out. But I'll try and sum them up as quickly as I can, or like easiest to understand. Fascist countries are usually, they can mobilize their army and military faster and increase conscription with lower requirements. For an example, they can also raise their war support faster. A lot of democratic countries, they can't really start mobilizing a country until world tension is high enough. Now, there is the leader part of it. For most countries in the game, they will keep the same leader the entire time. Some democratic countries may change their leader semi-frequently. The United States changes to Harry Truman at the end of World War II. These guys go, the UK goes to Chamberlain after this guy, and then they go from Chamberlain to Churchill, if it's historical, and etc. But your leader doesn't do a lot. Like, for an example, Pierre Laval, he only has 1 modifier. I go to this guy, for example, he doesn't have any modifiers. If you hover over someone's, like, your leader's portrait, then you can see the modifiers that they have. Now, I'm not going to do like a communism tutorial. The ideologies in this game don't have any sort of similarity to real life. If you go to your country, like your country flag or like diplomacy, you can see the pie chart of, you can see the supports amongst like different ideologies. For example, 40% of my people, 20% of my people support democracy, 20% communism, and 60% fascism. If you'd like to change your ideology, what you can do is that you can hire someone to give you more daily support to that specific ideology. For example, if I were to do the focus and fulfill the requirements to hire current Schmooner, I could get more democracy. Also, if your ideology hasn't flipped the ideology you're boosting yet, what you can do, what happens when you hire that political advisor that boosts that ideology per day, it will give you a prompt called that on the rise. I'll try and give you an example of it, but it may be kind of hard to do so. And now look, we go right here, fascism on the rise. And you get 2 options, prepare for civil war or open up political disclosure. In my opinion, I think it'd be a lot easier to do political disclosure because if you do a civil war, it will put you in a war, of course. Other factors can interfere with it, for example, the opposite side joining a faction, and also halves your divisions, which is bad. You don't want to do a civil war. So most likely open up political disclosure, and then it opens up this part. You can always go back on your option as well if you would like to. I wouldn't exactly recommend clicking these buttons unless it's really hard with your ideology. But if I want to change my ideology as Bulgaria to, let's say, fascist, I can always go down this path, and this gives me more fascist support per day until I make it easier to switch. And that's a lot of countries. You want to switch to your different ideology. Once you get up to enough support, once I get up, so for example, once I get up to 40%, no, 50%, okay, once I get to 50% support for that political party, it's more, then I can do a national referendum, which will change my country's ideology, usually get a different leader, and yeah, that's the best way to do it in my opinion. That's how you switch ideologies. I'm not going to cover other ideologies and their effects on them that too much because it's not that significant. If you want to check what specific ideology does to your country, you can go right here. It says rule summary, and it summarizes your rules. And also world tension requirements. That's the main thing that holds back different ideologies. And you can check that by going over to this, for example, not aligned, Czarboris. It can tell me all the things that they do and I'll tell you what each of them mean. Join faction tension limit. That's what the tension has to be for you to join a faction. Lend-Lease world tension limit. To give equipment to different nations, it has to be 60% world tension. To send volunteers, it has to be 40% or above world tension. To guarantee another nation in case they were invaded is 40%. My ideology drift defense, meaning that my ideology is easier to drift to a different one, negative 30%. And then intelligence to other nations in different categories. It's different for every nation. Just for example, let's say I were to go back to Germany, and this country's fascist, right here, not pronouncing that. When I'm at war with a major, my justification time is negative 80%, which is really good. This works with democratic countries too, and if you want to see the specific changes, you can see that too. Anyway, that was my basic tutorial on ideology in this game. I hope this tutorial can help you conquer nations and succeed. Good luck.